Satellite wars, the future of space conflicts. We explore the cosmos, searching for life, new worlds, and pushing the boundaries of human understanding. But as we venture further into the great expanse, we must also confront a sobering reality. The potential for conflict extends beyond our atmosphere. The very satellites we rely on for communication, navigation, and intelligence gathering are becoming potential targets in a new age of warfare. This is a conversation we can't afford to ignore. Today we'll explore the evolving landscape of space warfare, examining the technologies and tactics that could shape the future of conflict among the stars. Imagine a world without GPS, instant global communication, or even accurate weather forecasts. It sounds chaotic, doesn't it? That's because satellites, these marvels of engineering orbiting silently above us, have become integral to our modern world. They connect us across continents, allowing us to share information, conduct business, and stay in touch with loved ones thousands of miles away. Our military forces rely on satellites for surveillance, communication, and targeting, essentially acting as their eyes and ears in the sky. Weather forecasting, a system we often take for granted, depends heavily on satellites to track storms, predict natural disasters, and even monitor climate change. Even our financial systems, the backbone of our global economy, rely on satellites for precise timekeeping and secure transactions. Disrupting or destroying these critical satellites could cripple nations, sending us spiraling into a world of chaos and uncertainty. But let's delve deeper into how these satellites impact our daily lives. Consider GPS, a technology so embedded in our routines that we rarely think about it. From navigating city streets to tracking fitness activities, GPS has revolutionized how we move and interact with the world. It's not just about finding the quickest route, it's about the precision and reliability that satellites provide, enabling everything from ride-sharing services to emergency response systems. Global communication is another area where satellites play a pivotal role. In an era where information is power, the ability to transmit data across vast distances in real time is invaluable. Satellites facilitate everything from international news broadcasts to video calls with family members on the other side of the globe. They ensure that no matter where we are, we remain connected, informed, and engaged. In the realm of national security, satellites are indispensable. They provide critical intelligence, monitor potential threats, and ensure secure communication channels for military operations. The ability to observe and respond to global events from space gives nations a strategic advantage, enhancing both defense and diplomacy. Weather forecasting, often taken for granted, is another domain heavily reliant on satellites. These orbiting observatories monitor atmospheric conditions, track storm systems, and provide data essential for predicting weather patterns. This information is crucial for agriculture, disaster preparedness, and even daily planning. Without satellites, our ability to anticipate and respond to natural events would be severely compromised. Financial systems, too, depend on the precision and security that satellites offer. From timestamping transactions to ensuring the integrity of global trading networks, satellites underpin the stability of our economic infrastructure. They enable the seamless operation of markets, banking systems, and electronic commerce, making them a cornerstone of modern finance. In essence, satellites are the unsung heroes of our technological age. They operate quietly above us, yet their impact is profound, touching nearly every aspect of our lives. As we continue to advance, the role of satellites will only grow, further cementing their status as the backbone of modern civilization. What happens when the battlefield shifts from the physical realm to the digital domain? The nature of warfare is evolving, and the front lines are no longer just on the ground, in the air, or at sea. They are now in cyberspace, an invisible battleground where the stakes are incredibly high. We enter the world of cyber warfare, where hackers and digital warriors wage silent battles with potentially devastating consequences. These cyber soldiers can infiltrate networks, steal sensitive information, and even bring entire systems to a halt. The tools of their trade are not guns or missiles, but lines of code and sophisticated software. Satellites, for all their sophistication, are not immune to this threat. These marvels of modern technology orbit our planet, providing critical services such as communication, navigation, and surveillance. Yet, they are vulnerable to cyber attacks that can compromise their functionality and security. Imagine a skilled hacker, armed with nothing more than lines of code, infiltrating a satellite's control systems. With the right expertise, they can take control of these satellites, altering their course, disrupting their operations, or even shutting them down entirely. The implications of such actions are profound and far-reaching. They could jam communication signals, blind military surveillance, or even manipulate GPS data, causing widespread confusion and chaos. The impact on both civilian and military operations would be immediate and potentially catastrophic, affecting everything from emergency response to national security. This isn't science fiction, my friends. The threat is real and growing. As our reliance on satellite technology increases, so does the risk of cyber attacks targeting these critical assets. The consequences of such attacks could be devastating, disrupting our daily lives and compromising our safety. In 2007 and 2008, suspected Chinese hackers demonstrated the very real threat of satellite hacking by interfering with U.S. government satellites, disrupting data transmissions, and highlighting the vulnerability of our space-based infrastructure. These incidents serve as a stark reminder of the importance of securing our satellites against cyber threats, as the consequences of inaction could be dire. Chapter 3. Imagine a weapon that harnesses the power of light itself, focusing it into a beam of intense energy capable of disabling targets from afar. This is the reality of directed energy weapons, and they represent a significant leap forward in space warfare technology. High-powered lasers, for example, could be used to temporarily blind or permanently disable enemy satellites, disrupting their ability to function. These lasers could be ground-based, firing their beams from Earth's surface, or even space-based, mounted on satellites themselves for rapid response. The United States, China, and Russia are all actively developing directed energy weapons, recognizing their potential to shift the balance of power in space. Chapter 4. Sometimes, the most straightforward solutions are also the most effective. In the realm of space warfare, this principle is embodied by kinetic anti-satellite weapons, commonly known as ASAT missiles. These weapons are designed with a singular purpose: to neutralize satellites by physically colliding with them at incredibly high speeds. Kinetic anti-satellite weapons, or ASAT missiles, embody this principle. Unlike other forms of electronic or cyber warfare that may seek to disable or disrupt satellite functions, kinetic ASATs aim for total destruction. They are launched from the ground or from aircraft, and once they reach space, they lock onto their target and accelerate to velocities that make evasion nearly impossible. These missiles are designed to physically destroy satellites by colliding with them at high speeds. The sheer kinetic energy released upon impact is enough to obliterate the satellite, breaking it into countless fragments. This method of satellite neutralization is both direct and devastatingly effective. The impact generates a massive cloud of debris, effectively taking out the target and potentially damaging other satellites in the vicinity. This debris, often referred to as space junk, can remain in orbit for years, posing a long-term hazard to other space operations. The more debris created, the higher the risk of subsequent collisions, which can lead to a cascading effect. China demonstrated its ASAT capabilities in 2007 by destroying one of its own weather satellites, creating a massive debris field that sparked international condemnation. The test highlighted the destructive potential of these weapons and raised concerns about the sustainability of space activities. India followed suit in 2019, testing its own ASAT missile and further highlighting the growing threat of space debris. The test was a significant milestone for India's defense capabilities, but also added to the growing cloud of space debris that threatens all spacefaring nations. This debris poses a significant danger to other satellites and even manned spacecraft, potentially triggering a chain reaction of collisions known as the Kessler syndrome. The Kessler syndrome is a theoretical scenario in which the density of objects in low Earth orbit is high enough that collisions between objects could cause a cascade, each collision generating space debris that increases the likelihood of further collisions. This cascade of debris could render entire orbits unusable, effectively cutting off our access to space. The implications of such a scenario are profound, affecting everything from global communications to weather forecasting and even national security. As we continue to rely more heavily on satellite technology, the need to address the risks posed by space debris becomes increasingly urgent. Chapter 5. The ultimate evolution of space warfare might involve deploying weapons in space itself. Imagine armed satellites stationed in orbit, capable of launching attacks on Earth-based or space-based targets. These weapons could range from conventional explosives to more exotic technologies like particle beams or kinetic bombardment systems, which use massive projectiles dropped from orbit to strike targets with incredible force. The concept of space-based weapons is not new. During the Cold War, the United States pursued the Strategic Defense Initiative, better known as Star Wars, which aimed to develop a space-based missile defense system. While the program was ultimately shelved, it highlights the enduring allure of space as the ultimate high ground. As we continue to push the boundaries of space exploration, we must also grapple with the ethical and strategic implications of militarizing this new frontier. The weaponization of space is not a hypothetical future, it's a reality we're facing today. The decisions we make now will determine the future of space, whether it becomes another battleground for conflict or a realm of cooperation and discovery. We have the power to choose our destiny among the stars. Let's make sure we choose wisely.